of the Fritos and like grated cheese on top. Yeah, like shredded cheese.
Well, that sounds amazing.
Oh yeah, it's Pepper Belly. It's from WeHop when I was a kid.
Oh God, I want that now.
Game and I go get a Pepper Belly after the game every time.
I want that right now.
We call that something else.
Frito pie.
Yeah, I've heard them Frito pies.
Yeah.
First time I
sort of like Frito pie. But they do like the walking taco thing with the little bag of Fritos too.
Yeah. We had one of those. Scott was down here for 4th of July a couple of years ago in St. Charles. We had one of those. I'd never heard of that. Walking taco. It was good though. It was like a food taco. Walking taco. I don't know if I want my taco walking. All right. Hey, Rhonda Lee. All right. We're going to answer questions. We got to get serious. Zone. Here we go.
Zone.
Oh, hey, Margie. Happy birthday.
Yay.
I'll give you
Happy birthday, Margie, on Wednesday when the show comes out.
Yep, that's right. Hey, Alfred. Missed you Sunday. Hey, Dennis. Down in Texas. Hello, James. Up in Minnesota, I believe. Hey, Kate. She's in East St. Louis. No, she's on East St. Louis. She's on the east side. But see, if you say the east side and you're St. Louis, and you immediately think strip clubs. I mean,
you are correct.
Oh, wow.
No, he's not wrong. You do.
I'm sorry, I can't say east side.
Okay.
He's not wrong. You do think of strip clubs. He's definitely not wrong.
Because I had to drive for a bachelor party one time. Oh my God, I can't tell that story on the air. I was the only one that didn't drink and didn't smoke weed.
Gotcha.
All these dudes that I played hockey with, like, Ramen, you're driving for this bachelor party. I'm like, oh. She's in Belleville. See, I used to speed skate in Belleville.
That's very different than. Yes.
She's not in Southern. Or Pops. or I'm trying to think of all the other ones. They're probably out of business. I mean, it was a year ago. Pops. The Pops was the one they always had the commercials on the radio. Pops. I'm trying to think. There was one other. Anyway.
Oh, there was a number of them.
Yeah, there were tons. And they were they looked like little shacks. So it was great. Yeah. Here we go.
Wow, you're making the east side sound.
Oh, it was.
No, Belleville's a nice town.
Belleville is nice. Yes.
Collinsville. There's a lot of villas over there. It's very nice.
Edwardsville, which is where I went to school.
Yeah.
Collinsville is obviously where I met Brian.
Is it really? You just don't want to stop like right as you go across the river. You want to continue for about another 10 miles east.
Yeah, I met Brian at Wild Country.
Really? My dad used to work there.
Yeah, that's where I met him.
I think it was the Bull.
That's where I met them. Yeah, that's where I met him.
You know that our intro guy is from the Bull, right? Billy Greenwood.
Yeah, of course.
Welcome to the Be Our Guest podcast. There you go. Full circle. He does the intro. You met at the Bull. Now you met at the.
I met him a few times. Yeah.
There you go. Didn't you go to SIU something?
I didn't. I went to SIU. Mm-hmm.
Cougar?
No. Yes, Cougar. Yes.
You're such a cougar.
I know, right? Jeez.
Anyway, let's go. I don't even know what I am. What was it? I think when I went to UMSL, it was the Rivermen, but I think that's not politically correct anymore. So I think they're like I don't know what they are anymore. They changed. Because they were the Rivermen / River Women.
Oh, yeah.
That like do that both, and then they changed their mascot totally. I don't know what it is anymore.
Oh, that's weird.
Anyway, I'm a tiger. I got my gifted certification from Mizzou Online, so I just consider myself a Mizzou.
There you go. That works.
Anyway, happy birthday.
We're like Pitt was a Panther.
Yeah.
So like I'm still allowed to be a Panther as far as I know.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think Panthers are cool. If you're an animal, you're pretty safe, I think.
Okay, good.
I was a Spartan at Missouri Baptist. They're still Spartans. All right, let's do this. Who cares where we went to high school, Roman, or college? College. Yes, I have a master's degree. Imagine that. And plus 30. I know, right?
Right.
You would never guess that, right? That dude's got a master's or what? Guy, how's that? Anyway, here we go. 1883. Welcome to episode 1883 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Wednesday to you. And before we go any further, happy birthday to listener Margie. Today is her birthday. She's always in here with us on the live chat. Joins us on Sunday nights. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. You deserve it after this past year. So, hey, I'm telling you, Margie, get ice cream today. Mike said you have to get out there and enjoy a couple of scoops. It's your birthday. Today, we're getting together as we do every Wednesday to answer your listener questions. Can't wait to take on the plethora of questions we have in the inbox and live in our chat today. Joining me as always, we have Ricky from a Disney World.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I'm
Is
sure.
that still there?
It is. I still own it. Yeah. I still own it.
I don't know where that came from, but you're actually from the mouseforless.com more
I
frequently.
am.
What's going on? Sorry about that. What's up?
That's okay. I could really go for some ice cream now. So if Margie's sharing, I'm all in. Like, let's go. No, Doozles. I'm telling you, it's Doozles. So, but yeah, I could go for some ice cream. So, I mean, it's been really nice out here in Georgia, like gorgeous, like in the 70s. So, I mean, ice cream in the 70s sounds like a perfect day for me. So let's go. Let's head out, Margie. Let's go.
So, yeah, you Margie, the ice cream's on Ricky.
Yes.
Here's the other thing that's weird though, right? We always associate ice cream with like, warm summer weather, great night, top down on the Jeep, no doors, go to Fritz's, not Doozles. And you get your ice cream. But here's the thing. I love ice cream all the time, right? And this is why. If it snows, I gotta have ice cream too. Like on the opposite end of the spectrum, like it's snowing, gotta go get some ice cream at Chick-fil-A or Dairy Queen because Fritz isn't open when it's cold. So
right, exactly. Yeah. All right. That's a little interesting that you get ice cream when it's cold, though.
Absolutely, I get ice cream all the time. Like tonight, as I finish the podcast, Mallory has cheer. She gets Chick-fil-A after cheer. I get a cookies and cream shake.
Oh, they have good cookies and cream shake though. Not gonna lie. That reminds me. I got a free dessert at my Chick-fil-A, so I should head on over there and get my free cookies and cream shake. Yeah.
And by the way, that was Riley who is leaving us. She's going back to Columbia, but she just want to say she does appreciate potato butts. We call them potato butts, like the ends of the waffle fries.
Yeah. Those, yeah.
Her treat. So she must have heard me say the word, and she got a little Pablo.
I want it. Yeah, let's go.
All right. Also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, how do you like your ice cream? When it's cold, when it's hot, just any time in between? What's your?
You people know this. I am lactose intolerant. So while I do enjoy the ice cream, it doesn't really enjoy
her. No.
Yeah. No. I could have it like every now and then. And I guess like there is this lactate pill that sort of you can take for it, but I will say it doesn't always work. So, yeah, I know, but I do. I mean, who doesn't like ice cream? It's awesome. There are a few companies that make ice cream that don't contain milk, like they have coconut milk or something like that. So love those, but yeah, it's not really a good idea for me. I'm just going to say that. Those of you who are lactose intolerant know the repercussions of doing the ice cream, but sometimes it's worth it. So.
That'd be my worst nightmare. Lactose intolerant.
Right?
Drink milk like out of style and ice cream. Oh my gosh, that's so. Anyway, let's get to the questions because Alfred's got one. And I'm curious about this one as well. So we got the news this past week that Mouse Gear, in Epcot, is basically being replaced by a store named Creations.
Creations Shop.
Okay, sorry.
Yes.
For one thing, I do have a problem with this.
Yes.
When you have something that ends with an S and then the next word starts with an S, like it's all kinds of like hard to say as a podcaster.
Yes.
So fix that, Disney. I'm just saying. Right. Creations Shop. Okay. Besides that, I'm excited Club Cool's coming back. We get Beverly. Okay, so there you go. I'm pumped about that, right?
That's true.
They need to bring back the ice cave. I mean, if you're going to go, don't go 75%. Bring back the ice cave. They're not going to do that.
No, they're not.
Ricky, give us thoughts on what we've seen, artist renderings, and the Creations Shop.
Stupidest name ever.
Don't be so harsh. I mean, it's not the best.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I mean, you went from Mouse Gear to Creations Shop.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of a lot of other names that work better. Ep Shop. I mean, like seriously, like it is the Epcot main store, and you go with the Creations Shop. Like, what are you? Okay. Well, anyway, the actual shop though looks really interesting. So they're gonna have murals of Mickey with lots of different creative ways of showcasing him. They're gonna have big open windows so that it lets the light in. It's gonna be a really nice space to shop. I feel like because sometimes I felt like Mouse Gear was it could feel a little cavey before. I mean, and hopefully it doesn't meander. And it was really I felt like it was, especially for newbies, really easy to get lost in Mouse Gear before. So I'm excited to see what they do with the actual shop. I don't like the name, obviously. But I'm excited to see what they do with this shop itself. And welcome back, Sticky Floors. How we've missed you.
Okay, so here's the thing though. So is the Club Cool slash Creations shop, again, hard to say, is that going to be in the former Mouse Gear spot, or is it going to be on the other side?
I don't know.
Where's it going to be for sure? I think it's going to be in the old Mouse Gear area. I think it's going to be on the left as you're walking to World Showcase walking into the park.
I don't want to get it wrong. I'm not entirely sure. I am certain that someone has figured it out on the internet and has posted where it's going. But I'm not entirely sure which side it's going on. Because obviously you would think they would be together, right? Like they would go together.
Well, maybe, I would guess. I mean, if they're both going to open, they got to be in the same area because they're probably constructing them together. But here's the thing. Like you mentioned exactly why I'm not real hip on this new design. I know a lot of people, this is like the new trend, right? In retail, that open space.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Like I was shocked because we went to the mall to go to the Apple store or something like 2 months ago to get something for Pam for her birthday. And we went in through the Neiman Marcus entrance. Was it Neiman Marcus? What West County Mall, Ricky? What's that?
Oh, I have no idea. It might be Neiman Marcus. I don't know.
Maybe it is. Anyway, it's like a big Macy's, but like there's tons of empty space in this big old store. Like there's not much going on. And I'm like, Mouse Gear was awesome because it was full of junk. Like,
that's true. It was very cool.
Like I love that. Like I could get lost. That's awesome. But I don't want the open space. Pam, how do you feel about these two designs? I love Mouse Gear because it reeked of like 1980s just retailism. And I'm fine with that.
Well, you know what my main issue with Mouse Gears was? It smelled like butt.
Yeah, I mean, it was over a sword.
And Club Cool did not have good smell.
No, they did not have a good
air purifying in both of those shops as we move forward. Yeah,
it was just that was really my main thing. Like Mouse Gear, I will say, I've remembered shopping there for so long. Like. This is how many years old I am. I remember shopping there when they had that whole tech section. Remember the tech section that had just all of this Disney tech, which was not that much. And near it were like CDs and DVDs, like back when they used to have all these things, right? And they just don't anymore. But that was my main problem with it. I think, there were a lot of stores at Walt Disney World in particular where it just felt a little claustrophobic, right? You were in there. I was just like, I feel like I can't move. I feel like everyone is right up against me as I'm shopping, right? I'm always waiting for someone to be done looking at whatever they're looking at so I can look at it, or they're waiting for me or whatnot. So I think there was a lot of room for improvement. And I think part of this had started at one point because of accessibility. There were stores at Disney World where I think all of us know if you had any kind of wheelchair or electric device, there's no way you could have gone in there because there was no space. So I completely understand that what you're saying, Mike. It sort of feels like a little bare when you go in there at times. Like there's a lot, you feel like it's a huge open space and not as much material, not as many items there. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this rolls out and looks, because I will say I love the Disney store, the World of Disney at Disney Springs now. I really truly do. I feel like I don't get as overwhelmed there in it. I feel like I can find things so much better. They probably have to have more people, restocking in a store situation like this because they don't have as many displays, but I just feel like I enjoy it so much more. So I don't know. We'll see. Obviously,
they've probably done, studies on, people are more likely to buy, or the amount of money they make per square foot when they don't cram stuff in. But it just, I was a fan of the old World of Disney over the new one. Like, that's just me. That's like my, I don't know. Like, I don't mind getting lost. And the trick and I still had on Foursquare and now on Swarm, I had a tip. No matter where you buy your stuff in the old World of Disney store, check out in jewelry. There's never going to be as long of a line because that's where all the expensive stuff is.
Good advice.
I know. That was a good one.
There should have been a guidebook somewhere. Right? So yeah, we'll see how that goes. Yeah, Club Cool, Beverly, all that stuff come back pretty soon. Let's see here. We have a question from Kelsey. Thanks for being in the live chat. Headed to Florida in 4 months in the fall. Woohoo! I'm hoping to be at Walt Disney World around the time of the 50th. If my dates change, is it easy to change the dates of my tickets? Thanks. So Pam, talk about that, but also here's the thing. Theme park reservations, man, they're the gold standard right now. And if you're there around the 50th, if you got them, you just can't move them. I mean, unless you want to go to Animal Kingdom on the 50th, you're probably good. But even then, it's going to get tight on that soon.
Yes.
I'll talk about this, Pam.
It will. So the ability to move your theme park tickets there's a few things you have to think about. First of all, availability. Is it even possible for you to move your theme park tickets to new dates? That will just depend on what's available at that time. And also you have to remember that date-based tickets, of course, also have a dollar amount that depends on the date that you were going to use them. So if you want to change, please be aware that the price could increase. And those are the two factors that are really going to impact that. And guess what? You don't really do a refund if the new dates happen to be less expensive. So that's the way it goes with that. But you can make changes. Some of the changes can happen right there on the app if you want to. And some of them you'll have to call into the ticket sales office for that.
All right. Here's a good question from our good buddy, Andrew. So glad to have him here in the live chat with us. Which show at Theater in the Wild at the Animal Kingdom was your favorite? So he gives us Journey into the Jungle Book. Never saw that one because that was probably before me. Tarzan Rocks or Finding Nemo. So I'll give mine real quick. Finding Nemo is my favorite because it's really, as a dad, it tugs at your heartstrings. Like I cry every time I see it. Oh, I don't cry. I just get stuff in my eyes. It is kind of dusty in there. But Tarzan Rocks was awesome because I was an inline skater, and dude, those people were flying all over on those inlines, so jumping over the drummer, the live drummer, and the guy's flying over. Dude, how do you not love that? A dude on rollerblades jumping over the drummer. I mean, done. But here's the thing about Tarzan Rocks. If you went in July, you were lucky to come out of that theater alive. It was so hot. Like, it was so hot. Once they closed that animated air conditioning, people could live through the show. So, Ricky, out of those three, what was your favorite?
I've only seen Finding Nemo.
What? You didn't see Tarzan Rocks?
I didn't know.
So great.
I mean, I have to go with default. I love Finding Nemo. So yeah, I've only seen Finding Nemo. So.
Okay, Pam, what about you? Because you've probably seen all three.
I did see all three. I will say that I thought that the Tarzan Rock show was really interesting, and I'm going to bring this up and try to put it as delicately as possible. The Tarzan Rock show had quite the cult following.
It sure did.
I will say
Tarzan. Yeah. Okay.
Yes. It was a cult following by a bunch of ladies or a bunch of people who appreciated Tarzan. I won't limit it to just ladies, but a bunch of people who had a deep appreciation of Tarzan and his wardrobe. They were very
loincloth.
Yeah.
He was climbing a rope the whole time too. Like, it's all
I know, right? And the guy may have worked out a day or two. I'll just say that as well. Yeah. Whatever, whoever was Tarzan, he, apparently, he and Chuck Norris or something. He had the total gym at home, I'm gonna say.
Yes.
So I appreciated that show, not for quite that reason, but I thought it was an interesting show. Just like how you said, Mike, the people were rollerblading. It was a very high energy show. Really liked it. I did see the Jungle Book show as well. Yeah, that was there. And then, that. Yeah. And then the Finding Nemo show. And I'll have to say, I really appreciate the Finding Nemo show the best. I think that maybe it is just because of the air conditioning. I don't know. But no, they do such a great job with it. There's, songs that were written just for that show there. And I think that's really sort of a rarity when you think about theme park shows. How many of them have a song? How many of them have good songs written for them? There might be some theme parks around the world that have, whatever, songs written for them. But how many are as great as some of those songs right there? And I think it is a really good story. So like that.
All right. Corwin of Amber, who is always with us live here on YouTube, joins us, says, best way to go from Disney resorts to Universal. So personally, I would just Uber or Lyft or take a taxi. But Pam, I mean, if you're not renting a car, obviously if you have your own transportation, it's probably 15 minutes.
Right. Yeah. They're not that far from each other, really. I think that's a thing that people don't know that much about, but they really aren't that far from each other. You absolutely can just go ahead and take one of the rideshare options. There also are Universal has a transportation. So if you're following up with a Universal package, maybe they have transportation to and from Walt Disney World. That's something that's available for you as well. Also, any of the town car and limo companies will also be able to do that. So take your pick.
All right. Sarah's got a question in the inbox. Hey, Mike, she says me, my husband, my son, my daughter, who are both teens, and my mother-in-law are headed back to the world in 54 short days. We've been going since 2013, and February 2020 was our last time there pre-COVID. This will be our first time going back during the pandemic. I know it'll be different because of but a pandemic visit is better than sitting in the office. We'll be taking my mother-in-law with us. This will be her very first time. We're lucky to score a great deal on our hotel stay. We're staying 2 nights at Animal Kingdom Kidani Village in 2 separate rooms, Safari View. Splurging for mine and my hubby's 20th year anniversary. And the rest of the time, we're going to be at the boardwalk. You're doing it right. This is our first time going without a dining plan and park hopper. I'm waiting to add the park hopper option, so I'm up in the air about the park hopper. All these questions are going through my head, and I know I'm not the only one. So she has 5 quick ones. So let's kind of knock these out. Do I pay now and keep fingers crossed that we can enter another park after 2? What if we purchase park hopper and we're not able to take advantage of it because the parks are at capacity? What are you hearing about the pandemic park hopping? What if you make a dining reservation but can't enter a park due to capacity? And what are the must-dos for a first-timer during this time? I feel like this visit may be our best one. Besides getting to stay at Kidani Village and Boardwalk, we're forced to slow down a bit. Love listening to the podcast. Sarah's tuning in Owensboro, Kentucky. All right, so Ricky, what about the park? What are we hearing? You got your ear to the pavement when it comes to hopping.
For the most part, the good news is I think that if you would like to park hop, you can. I mean, Pam, have you heard of anything? Anybody?
There has not been one date there where park hopping has been totally shut out.
So
not even been one.
Yeah, so that's a good thing. So, hopefully that continues as we move forward. I don't see why it shouldn't. And if by chance, goodness knows that like something does happen, I suspect if you had a dining reservation, they would probably let you in. Again, not 100% sure, but I would suspect they would work with you. But we haven't seen it, so I don't think you're going to have that much of a problem. So
right with the dining question, we don't know because
nobody's
been locked out. Now, what this is, because here's the issue I ran into for my trip that's coming up in a couple of weeks for Mallory's Cheer. We're staying at the Hilton for a little bit, and then Mallory and I are staying at Coronado for a couple nights. But the thing was, we didn't get her ticket until 4 days ago. Right. Mm-hmm. So I hadn't bought Pam's. I have an annual pass, but I haven't bought Pam's ticket till I got Mallory's, because we got to make theme park reservations together anyway. Right. I wasn't even sweating it till we got that ticket number. So I got it all linked up, go to make the park reservations. The only parks that we could get were Epcot and Animal Kingdom. Mm-hmm. Mallory and we're getting Magic Kingdom later in the week when Pam's coming home a couple days early because she's got to teach. But I think the thing is, with the park hopper, that's kind of your backdoor way. We can go over to the studios at 2, or we can go to the Magic Kingdom. Like Mallory and I can hop. I didn't buy a hopper for Pam because we can only go Sunday night and Monday morning. That's it. Mm-hmm. And she goes home. So Pam, is that the right thinking? It's kind of a backdoor way to get into a park that's sold out is to get the hopper?
100%. Yeah, it is. We have this question come up a lot from guests. And I will say, I still find the park hopper to be like a huge benefit at this time. And maybe even more so than it used to be. And the reason why I'll give you is by the late afternoon, there are so many guests who are leaving the parks. Mm-hmm. There just are. And when you talk to cast members, they'll tell you the same thing. When you're able to hop to a new park at 2:00 and you have the rest of the time that they're open, even if that's a shorter period of time, you're still going to get a ton done in that new park. Mm-hmm. And just like Mike was saying, it's absolutely a great way to be able to hop over to Hollywood Studios, which is the park that we're seeing lose park availability the earliest. and do some things there. Now, of course, you won't be able to do Rise, but that's really all you won't be able to do at that point. Slinky Dog, you can just go ahead and wait in the line. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, as well as Smuggler's Run, are all going to be available at that time. So make sure you're looking at those. The other thing is, if you're looking more than, let's say, a few weeks out, if you're looking at park hours, I mean, they'll give you an idea, but don't think that that's going to be the actual park hours, because we have seen them increasing park hours probably in that 1 to 3 week time frame is when they seem to be altering them the most. And you'll see in particular, Epcot is open routinely till 10 or 11 o'clock at night. So that's a huge period of time that if nothing else, you wanted to do Epcot and enjoy whatever festival is going on, because they keep the booths open the whole time. That to me would be worth the park hopper cost right there. So make sure you're checking that out.
And that's what Jennifer's saying in the live chat. Says, so glad we added the park hopper recently. Even with parks at capacity, we were able to hop daily. So nice ending days at Epcot's festival.
Nice.
That's the point. I mean, it's a backdoor way to, and we're really trying to maximize our time when we're down there, especially now with, not what it's giving you is flexibility. And right now, flexibility is such at a premium because Disney, I mean, I understand it, right? They need to know where people are. They need to kind of control the environment more than they did pre-pandemic. But this is, I mean, basically you go to your park in the morning then you have the option to go anywhere you want at 2:00. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited that we will have the park hopper for a couple days. And it just doesn't make sense for Pam because we can't go till the competition's over on Sunday afternoon.
Right.
And we're not going to go to a park till like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So we're going to Epcot. Then we'll go to Epcot that morning. She's got to be on Magical Express at noon, or like 1. So we'll go for a couple hours at Epcot because it opens at 11. It's just, it's one of those things, it is what it is. We're down there for cheerleading. They better win. I'm just saying. Okay. We have a question here from Becca in the live chat. And she also said earlier, she was laughing when she was listening. Where is it? Hey, Mike, I'm waiting for my train right now in Philadelphia. I was laughing while listening to the podcast this morning, going to work, when you said people don't really ride trains anymore. Well, people don't ride trains in Missouri, I should have said. I know people do. Right? I'm a Midwest guy. We don't ride trains a whole lot. Anyway, she's asking, though, she has a question about when you take Uber to the Disney parks, where do they pick you up or drop you off? And I think this is kind of interesting because Disney has really addressed this over the past year, where they have designated signs now, especially like if you walk up to the studios, you'll see these like right where the Skyliner kind of dumps you out. It'll say ride share and they'll have spots there. And that's where they pick you up, drop you off. Same thing for Animal Kingdom. Same thing for Epcot. Magic Kingdom, TTC, right? Still, I mean,
Yep.
And some people go to the Contemporary, but you probably
they have really stopped that from happening. Yeah, it's been a huge deal. There were too many podcasters and YouTubers who were not sharing official information, but sharing their little hack, which was against the rules explicitly on Disney's site. They have, since the reopening, they have really strict rules in terms of day guests and things like that at resorts. So. Just putting that out there. I don't want you to be disappointed. So
for real. And Becca's listening on a train right now. She's watching live.
That's awesome.
On a train. So people do ride trains. People, not just Walt love trains. I love trains. Just I don't ride them very often. Okay. Wendy's got a question. She says, hello, Mike. Just want to start off by saying what a huge fan of the podcast I am. Thank you for keeping the magic alive. My family thinks I'm crazy for listening to Disney podcasts all the time. You're not crazy. You're crazy awesome. Tell your family. She says, I have a mother-daughter trip coming up next month with my oldest daughter. We're staying at Saratoga Springs for a week. She was a 2020 high school graduate who missed out on so much last year and her first year of college as well. We're leaving right after her school finals to finally celebrate. Any recommendations of a must-do to make it even more special for her? Thanks again for all you do, Wendy. First of all, congratulations to your daughter. 20 years from now, 30 years from now, we're going to look back at this group of kids that went through high school and missed out on proms, graduations, experiences that first year, freshman year of college. And that, they're going to be hopefully applauded. And because, like you can't really redo those things. Like prom was fun, walking. I did fall asleep during my undergrad graduation. It went forever and I stayed out too late the night before. I totally fell asleep in my chair. So that's not really exciting. It's more for the families, not for you. But yeah, totally. I think we're gonna look back and just, these kids are going to be remarkable. So Ricky, give us what would you say? Because I mean, some things, you got meals, but I mean, like tours and all that are unavailable right now. What would you do to celebrate somebody?
Yeah, I mean, it does make it really tough because there are so many things that we normally suggest that are completely unavailable. So, again, and it's something that we say for like little kids, but like I'm gonna say really make the day about her. Let her plan the whole entire day of what she really, really, really wants to do. Where she wants to dine, all of that. I think that that's gonna be the best choice. Because there really are so many things that we can't do right now as far as like special activities that we would normally suggest. So I'm going to say make the day all about her. And that's going to be the best way. And get a celebration button, by the way, because you can still be celebrating. So.
Hashtag always get the button.
Yes.
Just saying. Okay, here I got a couple things though. Okay, this is
all
Mike, right. the party planner.
Yes.
Can you change my hat real quick? I'm not actually. Here's the deal. They came out with that 20-minute photo pass rental kind of deal, right? That was like 2 weeks ago where you can like book 20 minutes. So maybe bring a friend, maybe bring like your graduation.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Like that, right? Dude, look at this. I should be a party planner.
I mean, totally.
Know, like a bear, if like your we talked college mascots or high school mascots before we started recording, bring your tiger, bring a tiger. I don't know. So anyway, do that with your mom, little mother-daughter, in front of the castle or wherever. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Also, what about Pam? I think you brought this up the other day. I don't know if like, some girls are into this, some are not. You can't do like the Ivy Trellis kind of experience they used to have at Grand Floridian, but isn't there a hotel like the one of the fancier hotels?
Four Seasons, I believe, has
like maybe do like a spa day or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there are still some great things. And for me, whenever you're talking about a celebration, I think that something that would, I think always help mark that occasion is some piece of merchandise.
Mm-hmm.
And, the amount you want to spend on that, you could go little or huge at Disney World. Maybe you want to buy that crystal castle that's the Arribas brothers, right? Yeah, that'd be a great way to mark the occasion. But no, there are all kinds of souvenirs, and some of them have a lot more meaning than others. And I think if you could find something like that to help mark the occasion, that's a great way to celebrate as well. Also, when you're checking in for your dining, make sure that you let them know not only when you make the reservation, but also when you get to the restaurant that you're celebrating something special. There are still some cakes. I think they're just basic cakes that you can order from certain restaurants. Call about that. There's actually a line that you can call about that, call Disney Dining as well, to see if that's available. So that's another way you can as well.
Cakes are always the right answer.
True story.
Right? Cakes and cupcakes.
Yes.
All right. So I just got this email this afternoon from one of my guests over at the Magic for Less, Betsy, and she just wanted to kind of share. She just got back just a few paragraphs here about her trip. She says, "Hey, BOGP crew, I just wanted to drop a note to say thank you for all the pointers you gave in your recent podcast. They helped to make my spring break trip." It says Amazon, but I'm sure it's probably supposed to be amazing.
Somebody shops a lot.
Yes, autocomplete. Again, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. No, just kidding. My 9-year-old daughter and I park hopped to all 4 parks 2 days in a row and enjoyed decent wait times and perfect weather. Even though there were no park reservations available on any of our days, we never had a problem hopping around. We had no trouble getting a pickup time for mobile ordering, and we even got to check into our room by 11:30 a.m. I always put I will be there super early in the hopes we get in early, and most of the time it works. I do the exact same thing. Like, what time are you going to be here? I'm like 8 o'clock in the morning. Dude, my flight lands at noon. I'm just saying, because maybe it probably doesn't matter, but I do the same thing. I'm not sure if it is because of what I put as a preference during online check-in or some magical power Mike has when he books it for me. Either way, I'll take it. Yes, it's absolutely my magical powers. That's the room.
There you go.
The only snag we hit was going to our pool at the resort, Coronado Springs. If you're not lined up by 9:30-ish to get into the gates when it opens at 10, they fill up due to decreased capacity. By 10:15, and you will be put on a waiting list. The first day, it was for 2 hours. They just send you a text when you're able to go into the pool area. We could still go to the quiet pools and use the pool bar and play in the play area while we waited. One of my friends let me know this ahead of time so I was prepared. The cast members let me know what time to line up in the morning to ensure I got a spot the following morning. We're lucky enough to be able to take off our masks for PhotoPass photos, and the cast members let us know we needed to keep our masks on until we were about to take the photo, slip the mask off, and then put it back on before we walked away. They all said the same thing, so it's very clear what the expectations were. We have been lucky enough to go a few times during the pandemic, and I have seen PhotoPass photographers get so much grief over the masks recently. In February, one cast member finally had to stop what she was doing to tell a large group because they would not comply. And all the photos she took would be deleted because they were in the background with no masks. And I'm sure they are thrilled. The cast members are thrilled with the new policy. I witnessed something new on the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train line. It was about an hour wait, and as usual, many people came and went while a member of the party stayed in line. This time, when you rounded the corner to get into the actual queue, you were stopped by a cast member and asked if all members of your party were present. If not, they made you step out of line and get on a green dot until your party returned. I believe this is new because we haven't seen this before. I just thought I'd give a fresh perspective of Walt Disney World during a super busy time. Thanks for all the great information and fun, family-friendly podcast. We appreciate all you do to keep us up to date on all things Disney. Thanks again. Happy spring, Betsy and Caroline. And she also says, forgot to mention, once you get a seat in the main pool, you can come and go as you please. So thoughts, Pam, what do you think? I mean, I think that's great. I mean, it's giving tips right there. And a lot of this stuff's brand new last week with the masks.
It is. And it seems like, while the pool situation can happen at any Disney resort, it's definitely, I believe, Coronado that seems to be having more, I won't say challenges because it is what it is in terms of, being able to have the number of people they're allowed to have, reaching capacity and things like that. But look and see if that's a challenge when you get to your resort, if you're going to need to be there at certain times. You absolutely won't need to be there early to get a pool seat, and you won't need to check in. It has been spring break, and we are, coming right off of Easter or heading into Easter. So again, that's traditionally one of the more busy times at Walt Disney World. But just be aware that I will say one of the biggest changes that has happened since Disney has reopened is the fact that you're not quite able to be as spontaneous and still get exactly what you want. Yeah. You can still be spontaneous, but I think you have to be more adaptable and flexible in that space. But be making a plan, like instead of maybe coming back to enjoy the pool, mid-afternoon when everybody else and their brother's doing it, consider experiencing it earlier in the day or later in the day, or making a whole day of it, like setting aside that time to experience the pool and taking a whole day to do that, which we've suggested a few times lately. So go and enjoy.
And once you get in there, it's probably glorious. Like I can't, I'm not a huge swimmer. Like I enjoy the Disney pools, but usually like one time, maybe twice out of like a week stay, like when we go in the summer. I'm just not a big pool. Like I'll swim at night too sometimes, but like you said, I'm looking forward to it just because it's more relaxed in there. You don't have to have a mask on. You can just kind of chill, and, especially Coronado's. I love Coronado's pool. I love the dig site. Can't wait to be back. All right. Okay. Question. Mike from Missouri. He's got a question.
Okay. All right.
Hey guys. Hey BOGP crew. Love the podcast. My favorite Disney podcast of all time. Congratulations on 13 years. Thank you, Mike. Thank you. I would like you to critique.
Wow, he knows a lot about our podcast.
I would like you to, yes, it's favorite podcast. I appreciate that, Mike. Okay, I'd like you to critique my ADRs, which I just made this past week.
Okay.
Only made 3, but I have 4 because of a friend. Mike has 3, but his friend helped him out with a 4th one because she is a parent in the cheerleading group and had 2 extra slots for one of her ADRs.
This sounds a lot like Mike Rallman. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's Mike from Missouri.
Okay.
It's actually Mike from the Midwest.
Midwest.
Yeah. Midwest, yeah.
Anyway, so here's the ADRs. Olivia's.
Shocking.
Beer Garden. Paradiso 37. and Topolino's Terrace for dinner.
Oh,
Give me a 1 to 10 on those ADRs there, Ricky. What do you think? Or give Mike in the Midwest their rating there 1 to 10 on those ADRs.
I mean, I think that obviously the Paradiso 37 one is going to get a little bit lower marks there, Mike.
Well, easy to get. I'm just saying, like, you got to pretty simple to get. There were lots of availability, but I mean, I'm telling you, and in this, Mike, I'm just saying, you've seen these pictures and this reviews, and I'm hearing good things about this restaurant.
Yes, I think Mike, who I'm gonna guess likes Mexican, is probably gonna be happy going to Paradiso 37. They have a lot of like Southern flavors in that regard.
Because Pam wanted me to read
the Americas. Yes, exactly.
It's the Americas.
Yes, it's the Americas. Yes. So I think you're good. I mean, Mike is good. So I do like Topolino's, but I haven't been there for dinner. I've only been there for breakfast, and I very, very much enjoyed breakfast. However, they took my favorite thing off the menu, so I'm on the fence now about this one. But I think it's going to be a fantastic meal. Plus, it's a character meal right now, so you can actually see.
I don't think it is at night, right? Is it?
Oh, it's not at night.
Dinner.
Oh,
and here's the thing. So we land at 5. Dinner's at 8. Okay, I usually eat at 4, right?
Yeah, you're gonna be starving. Yeah,
struggle bus. This will be like 4th meal for me.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Okay, Pam, let me ask, because you've had dinner at Topolino's, right?
Mm-hmm.
My Pam is worried like that because I told her it's fancy. Like we're going out like on a date, and so now she's worried about dress. I mean, you can wear, you don't have to like dress up, right? I mean, she's worried about like bringing something super nice.
No.
The only place at Disney that you have to dress up is Victoria and Albert's, and all the rest you're going to be fine. In most of the other things, I mean, there are just like no like tank tops for guys and stuff like that. So you're fine with things like that. But I will honestly say the one I think you may not want to do is Topolino's for dinner. So I love Topolino's for breakfast. It's absolutely one of my favorite breakfasts there. We've done it before and after Disney has reopened, and I think it just has some really great choices. It's great to be able to see the characters. It's just a great experience. I enjoyed Topolino's a lot for dinner. But right now, I feel like the menu's a little limited. And while the view is absolutely spectacular, I think that you, Mike, will be happier with one of your other choices.
I think that's true.
Well, see, I don't have anything for that night. And here's the thing, too, because we land at 5. It's one of those things like on your travel day, you're exhausted, right?
Yes,
like,
100%.
I'll run that morning. I'll work until we leave at noon, go to the airport, land at 5, get all of our junk, probably then of course it's cheerleading things. So we'll get Uber over to the Hilton at Disney Springs. Mal go see all of our cheerleading friends, blah, 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 and everything will start going crazy. And then like, I'll just be like, whew. And by 8 o'clock, I'll probably just want to go like Chicken Guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's go get Chicken Guy. Yeah, I can totally see this happening.
Yes.
Or go to Paradiso 37, just walk in, and have it twice. Like,
that's true. I mean, I think it's a lot for the beginning day of your trip.
And like,
I agree.
And I'm cheap, right? And this is
that's definitely true.
I don't go there and like be tired and cranky and all that stuff. Like, I mean, if I want to be fancy, I want to be like ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about the other ones. I'm seriously excited about Paradiso. I'm not joking. I'm really, really excited about Paradiso 37. It looks like my kind of place. I've been curious about this place for a decade, and I'm finally getting to go there because we're staying at Disney Springs. It's happening, people.
I'm excited that you're going to get to try it. I have been there, so it's not like I haven't tried it.
Yeah, I mean, insert that. I've never seen an episode of The Office, but that one that has that guy that's in the 40-year-old virgin that's like, it's happening. That's happening.
Let's put it this way. It is certainly up your alley. I will agree. Like it is up the Mike Roman alley.
And you gotta like when you find a place, right, that's not impossible to get into. Like that's the kind of horse you want to ride, right?
For sure.
There for you.
Yeah.
Not some, thoroughbred that's always so fast you can't jump on it. Giving you lots of stories here. Okay, last question of the day. Let's get to it. TJ's got one here. TJ's been with us for quite a while. Hey, Mike, hope all is well. I have a question for you and the esteemed panel of experts.
Are we esteemed?
We are.
Oh,
Before Mike in the Midwest read his ADRs.
All right.
For upcoming trip, I know we'll be mobile ordering all of our quick service meals and possibly more. I have a significant amount of Disney gift cards that I've been saving for this trip and also have money on a rewards card from the Disney Visa. Is it possible to link any of this to the My Disney Experience account? Would prefer to use this up first. Thanks, TJ. Pam, I know you used to do this often, right? You would take Disney gift cards down to pay off your difference on your hotel charges. So what should TJ do in this kind of situation?
So first of all, if you're doing mobile ordering, you absolutely are going to be able to use your Disney gift cards. Now, the system as it's set up right now does not save the gift card information. So one of the things that I do is I make a note in my phone that has the Disney gift card number on it so that I can just open that up, copy it, then paste it in when I'm doing my mobile ordering. The other thing you can do is go ahead and you can't charge things to your room like that, not the mobile ordering like you did in the past. Right now, that's the way that the system is set up. But you can absolutely use Disney rewards cards and Disney gift cards in the app itself to pay for things. So don't worry about that. When you are at table service restaurants, of course, you can charge back to the room, which you can then go to the front desk and use gift cards and apply this to your balance. But the other thing that you can do is just go ahead and use your gift cards when you're there at the restaurant. There's no reason why you can't do that as well. Almost every restaurant on Disney property is going to accept the Disney gift cards. They're also valid to purchase things while you're at Walt Disney World as well. So you'll be able to use those Disney gift cards and those Disney reward cards for sure.
So if you're charging like your quick service meals, the best way to do it is charge back to the room, then use it to pay off the room. So
you can't do it with quick service because you have to mobile order.
But I mean,
so if you're
the mobile order would go back to the account though, and then you could use the Disney gift card to pay off the account, right? I mean,
no, you can't mobile order. So when you do mobile order, you actually have to pay right then with either a gift card or a credit card. You can't charge back to your room. So that's it. But that's why I make the note. And I'm sure the Apple people and the Disney people are both like, oh, yeah, because I created a note with that. But like, it's just a string of numbers. Nobody knows what that is. They're not going to have access to my notes. And if they are, I feel bad for them. They did spend all that work trying to hack my phone to get that, because literally my notes are so boring. So anyways.
All right, we're going to get out of here, but we're going to be back again on Friday, where we're going to be talking about another trip planning topic to make your next Walt Disney World vacation awesome. But until then, don't forget today's show brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out. Just drop by the magicforless.com. Check out all the great specials. Some are expiring soon. There are also some room discounts. Of course, Disney cruises through September of 2022. And if you're going to go on a cruise, let me just tell you, you need to book with us because you're going to get a great onboard credit spends just like cash. And everybody always asks, how's that work? Like, how does the onboard credit work? What happens is it's based on the final price of the cruise, obviously up to 5% of the total cost of the cruise, barring, taxes and all that kind of stuff. But that amount is sitting in your account when you walk on board. When everybody, welcome the Roman family, and everybody cheers for me. And I'm like, yeah, I got no more credit. Hey, how's it going? So nobody else does, but I do because I booked with a travel agent. So there it is. And then what happens is my credit card doesn't get hit until I use up all my onboard credit. And then once it's all gone, sad face, it goes to my credit card. But I get to have some fun first. And my other rule is don't use it for tips. You can, don't. Got to have fun with it. But anyway, if you're booking a cruise, Magic for Less, we're going to get you a great deal. Costs exactly the same as booking through Disney Cruise Line. We'll take care of all the stuff you need. We'll give you all these great tips in your email all the time. Also, Walt Disney World, same way. We just want to take great care of you and help you. 5.5 hours I waited on the phone today for Adventures by Disney. Do you want to do that? And okay, so here's real quick. Let me tell you a travel agent life story real quick today. This is why you want to have a travel agent, right? Today, the day of recording, the 2022 Adventures by Disney itineraries came out for folks that were canceled in 2021, right? They get first dibs. That's awesome. That's a great deal. I call right away. Boom. Get in. First technical difficulties. It hangs up on me. Okay, no problem. Call right back. Get a line. I'll listen to the International Gateway music loop for 5.5 hours. I took the dog for a walk. I ate lunch. I waited. I begged the guy every 10 seconds. He's telling me, we can't wait to see your guests. I'm like, me too. I want you to see my guests. Can I talk to you about it? Nope, it's a recording. But here's the deal. 5.5 hours I wait online. I'm like, okay, I think I'm in a loop. And you start checking it. Everybody's been in a situation, right? Am I like in some loop? Nobody knows I'm in this loop. So I'm like, okay, I can't call anybody else because I'm on my phone. I get on Skype. I call the number. Boom, they answer within 2 minutes. I'm like, are you kidding me? I could have done this at like 8:15 in 5.5 hours. I'm just saying, use a travel agent because I banged my head on the desk. My guests didn't have to.
Right.
And they're going to Japan.
Oh my gosh. I know. Look, so I will say when things like this are when, there's a discount released or something new opens and stuff like that, Mike and Ricky can affirm, I tell agents, do not try to do two things at once, because that's actually, it doesn't, you're not good at it. If you think that you can multitask, you're kidding yourself, because you're not good at it. The only time I say that multitasking is a good thing is when you're waiting on hold.
Yep.
Yes.
I'm just saying, I got to bang my head. That's why I'm wearing a hat, so you can't see my forehead, because I was like, are you kidding me? You answered in 2 minutes? What? And the lady's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like,
wow.
I know it's not you. But please don't hang up on me, because I don't want to. Anyway, so that's why I'm just telling you, that's what we do though. I mean, it's stuff we figured out. I'm like, you know what? Maybe nobody is going to ever answer this phone. I might be on this phone Friday, and I would have been like, if I wouldn't, because I was not going to hang up at that point. I'm like,
right?
No, right. You're there.
Yeah.
You just second guess yourself, like, oh, whatever. But it worked out. So anyway, magicforless.com. I'd love to help you out. Our agents, we do that stuff. We have fun conversations on the group. That's what we do. So there you go. Magicforless.com. Also, hey, use our Amazon affiliate link. You do that online shopping. As I was on hold, I was looking at Amazon. BeOurGuestPodcast.com/Amazon. That really does help. And a huge shout out to our patrons. Thank you for supporting the show. You get an extra podcast every Thursday. Mike in the Midwest. Oh my gosh, he emailed us today.
What?
He tells stories about growing up.
Yes.
It's a fun show.
Question from him.
Absolutely. It's ironic that happened. But yeah, if you'd like to support the show, it really does mean a lot. Just visit patreon.com/BeOurGuestPodcast. Give us a follow on social media, Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestPod and at BeOurGuestMike. Of course, subscribe and follow the show on Facebook and YouTube, and join us every Sunday night for you, me, and Scotty G. 7:00 Eastern, 6:00 Central. Those things get crazy. We had lots of fun conversations this past Sunday, and we have a great topic for this Sunday night coming up as well. So join us Sunday night. All right, we're going to be back again on Friday with more fun Disney talk. So until then, stay safe, stay healthy. And for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike. We'll see you real soon. Okay, let me save that one.
Mike, were you calling in on your phone?
No.
Your cell phone?
Nope.
This morning when you heard?
Cell phone. Yeah, this morning. Yeah.
Okay, because they think that it was something wrong. I had a meeting about this afternoon. I think there was something wrong from certain areas.
Don't tell me now. Oh,
I know.
Yeah, I just left my phone here, and I'm like, I'm going to call him with Skype while I'm doing some work. I'm just going to call that number and just see what. Dude, I heard. This is Isabel with Adventures by Disney. How can I help you? I'm like, wait, what? 2 minutes. 2 minutes. I almost lost my stuff.
Okay, I'm sending her in because they're working on it. So
yes. Well, now I know. 5.5 hours. And I thought, well, maybe. I mean, there were a lot of people that got canceled. I could see where they don't have a big staff like World. I had reasons why the wait could be that long. Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I try. But yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, and Corwin of Amber, yes, they do when you get on the ship, like the Ramen family with a $250.
They do not announce that. Stop that.
Awesome, though.
That'd
be really cool.
Don't make
this is the guy you want to go to in the bar. He's got a $250 onboard credit.
Right, exactly. Go talk to him. Yeah.
Yes. Remember the time you were handing out 50% onboard credit?
That's when we were in the tequila tasting with
yes, after the regular tasting.
Yes, we're arm wrestling Pitbull's wife. Those are some great. I think I posted some pictures. That's pretty funny. Okay, so what are we going to talk about, by the way? The flank steak.
What are we going to talk about?
This is the end of the show. We've run out of topics.
Thank you, everybody. It's been nice.
Good night.
Good night.
This is where it ends.
Yep.
Those shows, isn't it frustrating when you watch a show for a long time and then it ends and it's like such a bad ending?
Oh, yes.
That ending, because that wasn't our best effort on that Wednesday show. So, I mean, it was okay. Sometimes you hit them. Sometimes
Is the mic sounding okay?
It's still a little hot. Like I think because you got into the show. That's what I do, right? I turn on the DJ voice, and so
I talk more,
it just got a little hot there.
It's getting hot in here.
True story.
That's a St. Louis song right there. Nelly. He just sold his house. It's like 10 minutes from where I live.
So I'm turning it down just a little more, just to make sure that whole thing. But the good news is I'm not banging on the desk a lot.
That's true.
Hey,
By the way, are the rooms of the Contemporary, is it for sure they're going to be incredible rooms?
no, not officially.
Why do people
Put it that
keep
way.
saying that? Like it's a fact.
Okay, here's why. So one of the websites I will not mention shared photos of a potential room refurb that like Disney was testing, and it was an Incredibles themed refurb.
Right.
That's the only
putting that out there as a test for the Contemporary, but I just hadn't seen it like announced.
That's the only thing that people are basing this off of. Now, whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know. I think that the chances of it are pretty good with if they had the room. I mean, the chances are good, but things can change too. So they could have changed their mind on that. I don't know. So it's not official.
Let's do this. I have an idea. It's a random show, right? We just all bring some topic to the table and we discuss it. Like we could talk about that, like incredible rooms, because they got the Moana rooms, right? Going to the Polynesian.
Yes, that's official.
Does that work? I mean, not that we're going to say that they are, but do we need IP
Moana
rooms?
Oh yeah, I have an answer for that.
So we could talk about that. I could talk a little that technology stuff that I want to throw in there, just some like stuff that's baked into iOS, just real quick. Just kind of a random show, but like lots of good tips or current news.
That's fine.
Like tips for the summer, like remind people to bring multiple masks because again they get sweaty and gross.
Yeah.
Like that. Is that cool, Pam? You got something to bring you gonna bring something to the table?
I don't have anything to bring to the table, but I'll try.
What about some dining? Is there any new places that have opened like dining or any new experiences? Disney Springs, trying to think.
Not like
didn't Splitsville have like now they have like a new bamboo bar or something that's kind of indoor outdoor combo thing? I kind of want to check that out.
There is a bar right there, but they've always had it.
And did they refurbish it?
Yeah, I think they made like a bigger like indoor space, but I think what they did was they kind of took out some windows, so it's like open air, like there's a breeze.
Oh, really?
To make, I guess, it can consider more outdoor. Disney
questions, just to make sure that we go on.
Disney bounders. I don't bound.
No,
Ricky. Ricky bounds.
I don't bound. I wear dresses that are from Shop Disney, so I guess that's bounding. I don't know. I just wear Disney dresses that I buy at Shop Disney.
Okay, we talk about the 20-minute photo pass thing. That'd be interesting. You got an article on that?
We can go. I'll be able to think of something. I mean, there's always something, right?
Yeah.
That we can think
yeah,
of.
Obviously we can talk about something.
The shows that so many people seem to like is when we have some kind of round robin question that we all ask each other.
Yeah.
So Ricky, did you write anything about that?
The photo thing? No, but I can get it off the Disney Parks blog. It's fine.
All right. I'll give that one to you.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Let me find it.
And how that Velocicoaster just looks like too dangerous.
Oh my God, it's gonna be amazing. I'm telling you.
Dude, something that goes that fast.
It's gonna be amazing. I mean, seriously.
2 launches.
Yes.
Too many. I only need one.
It's all gonna be awesome. I'm so excited to get the chance to ride it. So yeah.
That'd be cool.
Waiting to happen, dude. I need my migraine medicine before I got on.
I'm so excited.
I'm getting so old. It's so sad. Okay, let's do this. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
This is 18.
So your Mike, just to confirm, your cell phone, right?
Yes. Can we give me
called it?
I did.
Yes, on air.
Hang on. Let's see. Recent. Does it say how long you were? Yeah. Hang on. Will it say? No, it doesn't say. Damn.
No, it's fine. It's totally fine.
I should have taken a screenshot of that. I usually do when it's a super long hold.
It does say usually, but
it was 8:44 a.m. It says.
Oh, good. I just wanted to.
Yeah. Oh, 4 hours,
make sure.
50 minutes. Yeah, there it is.
4 hours and 50.
50 minutes. You want to be a travel agent? There it is, baby.
I know, right? That's what we should send people when they write to us and ask about it.
Dude. And I kind of nodded off after lunch.
Nice.
I had my AirPods in because I've done that on days where it's like a crazy hold. Like I'm just exhausted. just like after lunch, I'll take a little snooze, but I put my AirPods in and just hope that, like, when somebody's like, this is Sue Ellen, who I have the pleasure to speak with. I just hope that it startles me enough that somebody's whispering into my ear, right? That's not just the music. And always have my laptop in my lap, so I'm ready to rock when they answer. Okay, so we'll answer. Yeah, so if you have any like mini topics, throw them in the chat. We might throw those in here too. So, okay, let's do this. Okay, here we go. 1885. Welcome to episode 1885 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Hooray! Happy Friday. We've made it to another weekend, and hey, that's a good thing. So hopefully you have some fun plans to get outside, maybe go for a run, maybe you got to cut the grass. You know what? The grass has to be cut this time of year. It's just think of it exercise, right? You're filling your circle on your Apple Watch. And if you don't have an Apple Watch or some kind of a pedometer, are those steps really doing any good? Not really. I'm just saying. You got to always have quantified self. Hashtag quantified self. Okay. Anyway, get out there, have some fun this weekend. Take us with you wherever you're going. We're going to have a potpourri of Disney topics today. We're going to throw some stuff out there that's happening down at Walt Disney World right now. Hopefully help you plan a better vacation this spring, this summer, this fall, and just have some fun. That's what Disney's all about. So joining me today to talk about all this stuff, she is not from a Disney World after all.com. She is from the mouseforless.com. We have Ricky. Ricky, happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It is a glorious Friday here in the ATL. Gonna have a nice time this weekend. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just gonna say it's glorious because it's supposed to be really nice outside. So it's gonna be awesome. We're probably gonna be doing things in the yard. Not gonna lie, you were correct with the mowing of the grass, the cutting of the bushes, the putting down of mulch. I mean, all these things and more will probably be happening for our household. So yeah. Exciting stuff here.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, here's the thing. Like if you do that on a Saturday, say you do it on a Saturday, you got a nice day, right?
Right.
You're getting a little exercise.
Yeah.
But when you're done, like here's I don't really like cutting the grass, and like Pam doesn't let me trim because I trim too deep. Like I leave like ruts, and she can't stand that. So I'm not allowed to touch the trimmer, which is good life.
Yeah.
Screw it up once, you don't ever have to do it your whole life.
That's true.
I can use the blower though, right? Because that's fun, and you can't really harm anything with that. Just don't go by the mulch because it shoots it everywhere. But here's the thing. When you get done with that task, like, isn't it the greatest thing ever? Like you look out over your yard and you're like, oh my gosh, it looks like center field at Busch Stadium.
Yep.
You know, for like a few hours, you just like get a soda, kick back, lawn chair. It's the best thing ever.
It's the best thing ever until like a week later when it all has grown back and you're just like, oh, I wasted all that time. Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah,
it is. You got to enjoy it while you can. All right. Also joining us, we have the co-owner of the Magic for Less Travel, Pam Forrester. Pam, do you have any green thumb tips for this weekend for all of us?
So yes. So I garden. Like I love to garden. We have compost. I put in a major garden every year. I love to do landscaping work too. I mean, all of that. Sometimes I think I should retire and like go work at Disney and be a landscaper or something because I really enjoy it so much. Although I will say we do not mow our own lawn. We have a service that comes in and does it because it just takes time and that's not the part of it I enjoy, cutting the lawn. I like digging stuff up.
That's a perfect hack, right? Like as soon as they pull off in the truck, then you just go out in the backyard and you're like, oh man, that looks so good.
Right? Yes, I know. And the thing is, when you're paying someone like by the time that they do it, they tend to do it a little early. So it's like always done in our house. So I like that. But what I like about gardening is the digging up and the moving of stuff. And I swear, Steve is so patient in this space because we usually are out there working together. And especially like if you have perennial beds, I'm constantly moving stuff around. And he's just like, every time I'm like, you know what I want to do? I want to dig up this thing and I want to move it here. And then when I buy some new and put it in there. And he's just like,
it's like those tomato plants would have made tomatoes over there just fine.
So anyways, but yeah, so the thing
you're trying to give us all like zucchini or something. I remember like you had the overload of
I have tons. Yes, I usually do. One of the things I will say is you should look, if you're doing any kind of gardening, and even if you just have landscape plants, look into composting some things. You can buy actually a container that you can put like under your sink or whatnot, and you can put certain food products in there. Do a little research into that, but like eggshells, coffee grounds, any kind of vegetables. I don't put meat or dairy in because that's not a good idea, but things like that, produce that doesn't have oil or anything on it. And then you take it out to the compost pile. We do it like every day, but take it out there. That is like gold for your gardening. I swear it is. And it's really, really easy to do. So that's my green thumb tip.
All right.
Follow me for more tips.
That's right. Get out there this weekend and plant something and feel very proud of what you got. Okay. So today, again, we're going to talk about just random topics. And I wanted to throw in just some things because, of course, I think you're going to be using your phone more, your mobile device more as you go to the parks. Of course, now we have, and I've gotten it now, it's Magic Mobile, which I'm super excited for. Of course, I like Magic Bands, and I'll probably go back and forth. I don't think you have to go all in, but I'm an Apple guy. You guys probably know that from over the years. And so I have my Apple Watch, I have my iPhone, and I'm just excited that on my Apple Watch now I have my annual pass. That's just like the coolest thing ever. I know it's just a little picture on the screen, but it's awesome. So I'm going to be using that when I go down. But here's the thing. Just a quick tip to help you on your next trip, because we've talked about this years ago, but I want to remind people that you have a lot of tools that you can use on your iPhone. And what you have is something called Control Center. And so if you pull down from the upper right-hand corner, you can actually customize this screen, but it has all kinds of default tools. And again, this is for the crowd like me. I'm getting old and I'm getting blind. That's why I've had glasses on the last year. My contacts just aren't cutting it anymore. There's a thing you can add, a feature, and it's usually on there by default. It's a magnifying button. So if you push the little magnifying glass, you can zoom in on small print because Disney is making the menus and all these things so small. I know they're not. It's just I can't read them anymore. But when it's dark and everything, you can look and zoom in on stuff when you're at Walt Disney World, and that is a great hack. So I use that a lot at Walt Disney World, other restaurants. Also, when you go in there, you have all kinds of stuff, your camera's in there, your flashlight, if you need to get at it. And also one of the things that people are doing is that with this new Magic Mobile system, a lot of it's associated with a QR code. Mm-hmm. Now, some people, here's a hack, because it is just a QR code, even though it's kind of embedded in the wallet of your device. And this is coming to Android too, so it'll be very similar, but I'm on an iOS device. But you have a QR code. Some people put this QR code, they take a picture of it and put it as the wallpaper, so it's the default on the front of their phone without ever opening up the phone. So there's another hack you could use, like for PhotoPass and stuff like that. So I just want to throw a few things out there. Those are stock apps. Obviously, My Disney Experience is going to give you that gateway into Magic Mobile. And the way to remember what it's called, it's alphabetical. We talked about this. Magic comes before mobile.
Seriously, I don't know why they didn't do mobile magic, because that makes way more sense. But again, we're talking about Disney and naming things, and we've already discussed how awful Creations Shop is. Yes. So clearly they're just not good at naming things right now, because it makes way more sense to do mobile magic, but whatever.
I will give it a shot. But I mean, even with your default thing, default stock apps, you can get a lot done, and they can assist you when you're in a dark restaurant, or, you're trying to save a few seconds there from opening your device, especially with the mask on. Now, we are hearing in iOS 14.5, which comes out any day, could be out by the time this show publishes. There's going to be a feature in there where you can open your iOS device with a mask on.
Oh, hey!
If Face ID will work with a mask.
Finally took a year.
If you have an Apple Watch that's authenticated. So you have to have your Apple Watch on. It has to be unlocked, and then it will just use your eyes to authenticate. So that'd be a great tip, man. Think about how many times you open your phone with a mask on at Walt Disney World.
Oh gosh, yeah.
That would save you so I'm hoping that comes out way before I go down in a couple of weeks, but that's going to be something coming to iOS. Just a couple things just wanted to throw out there, because most of us, phones in your hand. I know we try to get away from work and everything, which I do, but one last tip about that, I rework my front page of my home screen for vacation. I obviously moved My Disney Experience. I moved my camera's down in my dock. I put all the stuff that, weather apps, because I'm always checking the weather. Like, is it going to be raining in 2 hours? I need to know what the radar is looking like. I'm a weather guy. So I put all that stuff on the front. And what I do is I move all my work apps off the home screen. So I don't even have to see them, right? Because if you have notifications turned on, if you're somebody like me, even though I have another agent covering for me when I'm at Walt Disney World, if I see 7 notifications, dude, I start to be like, oh, what are those 7 notifications? It drives me crazy, even though I'm not even on the clock. Like, I'm just like, oh, there's 9 now. There's 12. And I'm like, going, gotta have them out of sight, out of mind. That's just how I got to do it. So rework your phone, get it vacation ready, get your home screen ready. So that's the first thing I'm going to throw out there. Just hope, because I want to make sure this podcast is always helpful. All right, Ricky, bring a topic. What else you got?
I like the make your phone vacation ready, because that is
Right.
totally something I don't do.
I go home though. You got to go back to work. Phone,
Yeah,
right?
this is true.
Like, that way all the time. It's
This
got to
is
be
true.
home.
Yeah. I definitely don't do that. So I think that that's a genius idea. Okay, so speaking of like technology and things like that, Disney Photo Pass, it's again something that I think a lot of people don't take advantage of, and I seriously think it and Memory Maker are the two most fantastic things that Disney has come up with. I think that you really can get some good bang for your buck here, and really get some unique photos and things like that from Disney. They have made it so that you can do even more unique photos, and I absolutely love this idea. So they are doing this thing where it's called Capture Your Moment, and it's at the Magic Kingdom currently only right now, but it allows you to have a short period of time, 20 minutes, just you, photo session with a Disney Photo Pass photographer. It has to be arranged in advance, but we always get questions of like, how can I make my trip special? So if I'm looking to propose, or I'm looking to celebrate a birthday or a first visit or a baby announcement or honeymoon or baby moon.
Just don't bring any like baby thing that's gonna explode, right?
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, that was like 2020. We don't.
Yeah, don't do that. No, actually, oh my gosh. So side note. So Brian and I were totally eating at a restaurant.
Whoa, where's this going?
No, we were eating at a restaurant, and we saw this group of people, and they were all definitely there to celebrate like the the baby announcement type thing and find out what the baby was. And so they all walked into the park, right? And thank goodness that we were paying attention and knew what happens, because all of a sudden we heard bang, and I was like, "What?" They totally did it in the middle of the park, and I was like,
does that? I mean, in 2021, read the room, people. Like, for real, when people do that stuff, I'm like, were you just dropped on this planet? You don't do anything that pops in a public area anymore. Come on.
Not in public. No, not like that. No. So anyway, so it's a 20-minute photo session. It can include up to 8 guests. It can take place on or around Main Street, USA. So of course you can get those amazing views of Cinderella Castle in the background. You can also book it online, which is kind of the awesome thing too. So you used to have to call in to be able to book this photo session, and now you can do it even through the My Disney Experience app, which is awesome. So to check in for your session, it's at the Town Square Theater, which is, where you used to be able to meet Mickey Mouse. Obviously, you can't meet him right now, but good space for this anyway. And you can make advance reservations up to 60 days in advance. Of course, you are going to have to pay extra to print out your or get digital downloads of the photographs. So just keep that in mind. But it is still kind of a cool thing that they're doing.
Does it have a price?
Yeah, it looks like each session costs $50 for the session.
Still not bad though for a personalized experience. Think of all the pictures you're going to get.
Absolutely, 100%. So, and everybody's always asking, well, how can I celebrate, a birthday or something like that, or as someone who got engaged at Walt Disney World. Brian just, thank goodness I handed my camera to Brian because when we did this, because I obviously didn't know what was going on. So thank goodness he then handed the camera off to somebody that was nearby. So I have awesome photos from my engagement, but I wouldn't have had those if he hadn't done that. So the ability to actually have that be done, I think is fantastic with something like this, capture your moment. So, cause having engagement photos is super important, as well as a lot of other photos too.
But you got to also think about unintended consequences, right? Is this going to be an assembly line for engagements now at this point, like the hub? Like, is this going to be like they're going to be handing out knee pads?
It already is an assembly line in Town Square.
20 minutes, somebody else is
in the Castle Hub. That area is already just, if you don't run into 1 or 2 engagements during your day, you haven't been to the Magic Kingdom, basically.
Everybody on one knee.
Right?
Oh, wow, congratulations. I thought you were sore. You were doing
I thought you fell down. It's okay. Yeah.
Pilates or yoga session or something. I don't know. All right, Pam, what else? So let's get another. I think that's a great idea, though. I mean, the thing is, like, it doesn't cost you. If you don't want to do it, it doesn't bother you at all, but it gives you an opportunity if you want to have something special.
It gives you an opportunity. Yeah.
Right, Pam,
Agreed. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit about, because this is a question I get asked frequently. So I frequently say that, my family is not good, or me being the travel planner for my family is not good about making advanced dining reservations for my own trips. So then people are like, well, so then where do you eat? So I'm going to give you some of my tips, but please don't share this with other people, because these have to keep working for me.
It doesn't work. Exactly.
Yes, exactly. So I'm going to tell you one of the things that I do. First of all, and I'm going to explain this like y'all don't know what you're doing, and I know so many of you do, just because my Disney Experience app, I don't feel it's super intuitive at times. So one of the things that I do is I go to the app and I look and see what restaurants are there, because not all of them take advanced dining reservations. One of the easiest ways to do that from the homepage is to press the little thing that looks, a locator thing, right? It's, curved at the top and then sort of points like a "you are here" signal. And I click that. And then I change it from wait times, which it always defaults to dining. And then I can either filter it or just have it show a list. Now, when it shows a list, there's probably going to be some things there that you either don't know, or you're not quite sure when they open, or is it open now, or anything like that. One of the things you're looking for, if you don't have an advanced dining reservation, but you would like to eat somewhere that has pretty good food, is the word lounge. I wish you could just search for lounge. But
we all should have known this is where she was going with this story, by the way. Yeah,
I know. But right away, I'm seeing one of the top ones there, Ale and Compass Lounge, right? Because they're sorted by alphabetically. So go ahead and click that. And when you click that, it actually is going to give the hours of operation for that location. So Ale and Compass Lounge is open from 4 p.m. until 11. So that's great to know. The other thing you need to check on, especially right now with lounges, is there food? And you're going to be able to go ahead and click on that menu and see, oh, yes, they do have food available. So I use this probably 10 times a day when I'm there. I just do. And you find all kinds of different things. First of all, you'll be able to see if some locations have walk-up times available. You'll be able to get on right there from that, or you'll see if the walk-up list is already at capacity, which I will tell you, for many of the dining locations, especially dinner, the walk-up list fills up fast. So you're going to want to look and see if you can get on the walk-up list as soon as that opens to you. But there's also just little gems that you'll find. Sometimes for me, I sometimes will find a restaurant that I forgot about it, or is like a little hidden gem. I always tend to forget about the food truck restaurants over at Disney Springs. And just by looking on the app, I've remembered those things. So this is a hugely functional part of the app. And I mention it because I swear to God, every time I'm traveling with my husband, he's like, how do I find the dining again? I'm like, oh my gosh. Okay. Here we go. We do it because it's just not that intuitive, but I've used it so often. It's part of my, my daily operandum, as they say. You can also filter and do that, but I like to look down through the whole list. So
I'm going to piggyback on that for my next little section here, because just kind of general thoughts on dining at Walt Disney World. And this has been going on for 10 years for me. So if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I tend to eat. I'm very regimented in my day.
What?
I run the same amount of miles every morning. And I know, like, if I'm on pace, because the fountain comes on it comes on at 7. And I know that if I'm not on lap 40, I'm either behind pace or I'm ahead of pace. So I'm always like, okay, I got to hustle. I'm on lap 40. The fountain's not on yet. So I need to pick it up, man. I'm flying. I mean, I'm super regimented. I have the same peanut butter and jelly toast every morning.
He does.
After the podcast, always Taco Bell. So I'm like that. So I get on vacation, and here's the thing. I typically eat around 4 or 5. I'm an early diner. You eat where the old people eat and when they eat, and you eat well. That's what I've always learned. But here's the thing. When you're at Disney, this is just philosophical. You don't have to eat at the normal times, because Walt Disney World is full of opportunities to snack. So it is okay when you're down at Walt Disney World to have an 8:00 dinner, even though you're a 4:00 diner, because at 4:00 you might have a split a pretzel with somebody, or, go and have a Dole Whip. It's not terrible. Just have something to tide you over and snack. Or, you could have, for example, while we're down there, the only beer garden ADR I could get was like 3:30 in the afternoon. Okay, that is kind of a recipe for disaster, because it is kind of like a meat heavy meal. So I don't know how this is actually going to work, but I mean, I can still have
during the heat of the day too,
Yes.
my friend.
Yes.
There's a reason why it's still available, right? I mean, I'm just telling you. But the thing is, I mean, it's going to be like a dinner. It's going to be a late lunch, early dinner. But I think I'll be good to go by like 8:30, 9:00. I'll need like an ice cream sandwich or something good. I mean, and the thing is, you have a breakfast, and then basically you're skipping a meal, right? You're going to have a breakfast, you're going to have a dinner, and you're going to have a snack. So it works out well for me. I'm not having to pay for 3 meals. I'm paying for
That's
2
true.
and a snack. I'm covered, right? Okay, so think about that. Also, with what Pam said, this is what triggered this. When you're going into the app and you're trying to make an ADR, it gives you the option of breakfast, lunch, dinner. Okay, it gives you those 3 kind of general topics. However,
Yes.
go in and click 7.
Yes.
7:30, 8. Click the times, because it may pop up. And the thing is, go through, and if you don't see anything you like, okay, go to another restaurant, or do the next
Or
day.
go back. Yeah.
Then pop back, because you'll be, you might think, oh, I got to check back tomorrow. No, check back like 3 minutes later and go into, instead of doing like dinner, do 4:30, 5, because even if you're looking for, like, say you click on 5, it may pop up a 6:30, because there's a range there that as long as you're kind of in the ballpark at 5:00, it'll give you that. So I always make sure that I click on the times, I don't just click dinner and see that it's not available. I'll go 5. And even if you want to eat at 7, start at 5, 5:30, because it may give you something that will work. It might not be ideal. It's not going to be 7:00, but I mean, hey, 5:50, hey, it could work, and you get your restaurant. So that's another tip I have. Use the times on the app when you're going for ADRs. All right, Ricky, go ahead. What you got?
Well, you kind of went into one of the things that I was going to talk about, and that was keep checking back. You mentioned, obviously one of my hacks that I do all the time, where I constantly like scroll through and would see, okay, is this time available? Okay, no. So go to the next one. And I will do that. I will seriously do that while waiting in line for a good like 15 minutes, just to see what pops up and if something pops up that I really want to do. So, I mean, keep trying. And I've had things pop up too. Like you said, they have absolutely, the last trip when I was down there, Brian and I, we were leaving Epcot, and all that was open. It was, 7:00 at night, and all that was showing up was Disney Springs restaurants. And I was like, I don't really want to go to Disney Springs.
Paradiso 37.
Yeah, exactly. Paradiso 37.
Okay.
Yeah. So I kept checking, and I kept scrolling through that, the times, and boom, wouldn't you know, Beaches and Cream popped up, and I was like, done.
I'm hunting that one because Mallory wants that.
Oh, it's so hard to get right now, too. Yeah.
She comes to me like 2 days ago, right? This is such the last minute trip. It's such a nightmare. Like, because I mean, this is what I do for a living, and I feel like I'm failing. Like, because the ticket came in late, so everything is so behind schedule. But the thing is, she's like, I saw on Instagram this shake.
Oh yeah.
Cake on. I'm like, I know, and I'm like, well, there's no window now, so we gotta get. So I'm trying to do Beaches and Cream. I've been stalking that one.
It's so hard to get that one because
know,
it's already a small. Can you imagine how they probably wouldn't have opened that restaurant the way it was before? I mean, perfectly honest. So that was going to be one of my tips, is to just keep checking back for restaurants. But that also goes with the park reservation system. Now I know, it looks. I've had this instance pop up a couple times where I just keep checking back, where right now, like, things look really full in certain time periods. And then I'll go and I'll check like a day later or later in the afternoon. And wouldn't you know it, the park that I was looking for, Disney's Hollywood Studios, pops open. And it just depends on, whether somebody cancels or something like that. But you never know when somebody's going to cancel during the time that you're going to be there. So keep constantly checking those theme park reservations, because you never know what's going to happen. I was actually trying to book a trip, so I would like to head down there with, I'm going to be heading down there in May with pretty much my family. And I could get, because it's weird, I could get my brother and my mom Hollywood Studios, but because Hollywood Studios was closed for for people staying on property, I couldn't get me and Brian because we're staying at Coronado. And I was like, what is, how can I adjust this? And then I went later online, and wouldn't you know it, I was able to get the reservation for the two of us. So just keep checking, because you never know what can happen. It literally happened to me last night. So you never know.
Also, one last tip, because we're doing all these dining things. Mobile order your food while you're waiting in line for the ride before you want to eat. That's the greatest hack ever. I mean, this is like pre-COVID, post-COVID. Because, Mallory's always like, I'm like, what do you want for dinner? She always wants chicken nuggets or something, or a hot dog, and so it's so easy just to go through and get exactly what everybody wants. And then it's ready to rock. Because then or you can order it like at 8:00 in the morning for lunch. And then you just got to push, when you get close, and they'll make it. I mean, you can order it 4 hours ahead of time.
While you are walking over to the restaurant, hit the I'm here button, because sometimes
I do that. But yeah, I always feel like I'm cheating.
No, because sometimes it takes a long time for the food to get ready. I mean, I'm going to be perfectly honest. I've waited a while sometimes. So I usually hit it while I'm walking over. I mean, the food's going to be ready when I get there. So that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do the same thing. I'm always just worried, what if I get caught behind a parade or something? I guess there's no parades.
There's no parade. Yeah, exactly.
What if I don't make it?
Yeah. You're gonna make it. You're gonna get your food. So
I think everybody does that. We just don't say it out loud.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm in the park. All right, man. What else? What else we talking about? What else we got?
So I'm going to talk a little bit about. See, I'm sharing all my stuff here. I'm going to talk a little bit about how to choose the resort or resorts that you're going to stay at. Okay, because this is a big question that we get all the time. So one of the things I think about, and I mentioned this before, but I just want to reiterate it, is that I think about what are my goals for this trip? Are my goals that it's going to be heavy park intensive? And if so, then I think about, are there going to be parks in particular that I'm going to be going to? And why that really becomes important is if I'm going to be going to either Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios and Epcot a lot. The Epcot resorts, that are within walking distance or now within striking distance because of the Skyliner, there are a lot of choices. And if I'm going to be spending a lot of time at Epcot or Hollywood Studios, I'm going to pick one of those resorts without fail. Mm-hmm. There's no reason not to, because there's a value resort available. There's a moderate resort available on the Skyliner. And then you have the deluxe resorts that are available not only on the Skyliner, but also within walking distance to both of those two parks. So that's going to be consideration. If I'm going to be spending a lot of time at the Magic Kingdom, then I'm going to be looking at those monorail resorts or the Wilderness Lodge or Fort Wilderness. I'm absolutely going to be looking at resorts in those spaces. If swimming is going to be important to me, there are going to be certain resorts that I'm going to look at, because if I'm going to be by the pool or relaxing by the pool certain times, I want that to be a pool that we really enjoy. And we tend to enjoy pools that are at the resorts that are in the deluxe category, and sometimes the moderate category, but the moderate and above have a slide. They have a larger pool area. There's just other things to do there. They're going to have lots of activities. Not that the value resorts don't, but it's just going to be a better pool experience for my family. And I'm going to consider that. I'm also considering the price point I want to pay and the amenities that I'm looking for, because of course those two things are sort of interlocked together. Is it important that there's a table service location where I'm at? And for my family, that typically is yes. I mean, at least one of those days we're going to want to have dinner and go and not have to travel anywhere. We're just going to want to have to roll up and not be that way. I also look at the other transportation options to other parks besides the one that I feel that I'll be spending the most time at. And I look at the rooms. There are great photos over the Magic for Less and the Mouse for Less of all the resort rooms. But I think for me, that's something that I really want to consider. And it's important to consider. You may not be vacationing all the time at Walt Disney World. So when you're going to be there, don't discount the resort as only a place to sleep. It's so much more than that. And the success of your vacation is really going to be impacted by your resort in one way or another. So those are the things that I consider.
I agree, because I mean, think about it. When you get back, we've gone quite a bit, and the thing is, we was like, oh, that was the Coronado trip, or that was the Pop Century. You kind of, that's how we talk about it, or the January trip or whatever. But here's what I'm going to use for my last little piece here that I want to throw in, and this is just me talking out loud because you triggered that, Pam, because I get this question a lot, and I don't have an answer, and I've been doing this for like a year, going back and forth on this. Right now, we have 2 moderate resorts we can book. We can book Coronado Springs, or we can book Caribbean Beach. Okay. Both very nice places to stay. Of course, both Port Orleans resorts are out of the picture for right now. Hopefully they reopen soon. We don't know. So they're out of the picture for now. So you have these 2 resorts, and people are always asking me, guess which one's better? And the thing is, I don't know. I mean, I've been asked this probably 100 times. And here's the thing. I mean, it's really, it's like Pam said, it's the goal of the trip, but which one is better for guest A is not the same answer as guest B. And it's where you got to dig in. Like Caribbean Beach. Okay. Here's the advantages of Caribbean Beach, right? You're not only on the Skyliner, you are at the hub of the Skyliner. You are at the main junction of the Skyliner there. Caribbean Beach also has a sister resort, or an on-site deluxe resort, which opens up a lot of dining options. In it has a second Skyliner station, and it's also just fun to walk through the Riviera at night. It's a beautiful place, even if you're not staying there, to shop, to dine, to enjoy. You can't go in the pool stuff, but it's still and it adds to the whole. If you're staying at Caribbean Beach, right across the water, the Riviera was there. It was gorgeous, so that's an advantage. Caribbean Beach has a really cool feature pool and has nice quiet pools too. So does Coronado. I would give so that's a lot of advantages to Caribbean Beach, right? If you're going to the parks a lot, 2 of the parks, you don't have to take a bus. You're just directly there on the Skyliner. You're at Epcot, you're at the studios. You could also hop over to Pop Century. I don't know if you want to. I did actually to go shopping one day. Here's the thing about Coronado though. I will honestly say, I think Coronado has better rooms, especially if you stay in the tower. I think the rooms resort wide are better at Coronado. I just like them. I kind of like, this is kind of weird, but I kind of like the feel of like the entire grounds of Coronado over Caribbean Beach. Caribbean Beach is fine. It's very tropical and I love palm trees and stuff, but Coronado is just, there's something cool about it. It's that theme really hits well with me. I don't mind staying in the ranchos or over in the casitas, or in the tower. It doesn't matter. Like, I just like the whole resort. Coronado's pool, a feature pool, I would give the dig site a slight edge over Caribbean Beach's feature pool, even though it's pretty much a wash. They're both really nice. I would say dining at Coronado under normal circumstances is better. While Caribbean Beach is pretty good, I would say Coronado under normal circumstances with everything open is better. Coronado, though, you do have to take a bus to all 4 parks. So it's that thing, like, do I stay at Coronado in what feels, because I truly feel like Coronado feels like a deluxe resort, the feel of it. Like when I'm there, I feel fancy. Caribbean Beach, I still feel, it feels fun. It feels like a vacation destination, but it feels a little bit more upscale over at Coronado. But I'm trading a Skyliner for better rooms, higher class amenities, it feels like, but just a smidge. So it's like transportation versus the comfort of the room, the newness.
No.
I don't have a right answer. This is the whole thing. I mean,
there isn't one.
I don't have an answer for this. And that's the whole thing.
No.
I don't know.
There isn't. And we've stayed at both since the reopening a couple times. We've actually stayed at Caribbean Beach a few times, and we've stayed at Coronado a few times. There actually isn't a right answer right now. There just isn't. It will vary according to what is more important to you for that trip. And so that's why I really consider that each time. I consider those factors: the transportation, the food, the pools, the rooms, the amenities. And sometimes I'm surprised at where we land, really and truly. Sometimes I go into a trip thinking I really want to stay here. And then when I consider all those things, I'm like, oh, this is where we are. Okay. So I just go with it at this point.
I mean, I'll be honest, like I'm going down for the cheerleading thing, and Mallory and I are staying a couple extra nights to go have fun after the competition. We're staying at Coronado because she wanted to stay in the tower. She's never been in the tower. So we're doing that. But then this summer we're staying at Caribbean Beach. So it's not like I'm like picking one or the other. I'm just like,
right.
I mean, we're just, but yeah, it's the whole thing is, I try to give, because, people ask when you're a travel agent, like, okay, that's like your job. Like, tell me, which one's better? That's here comes the long email because I can't. Please don't lock me up like that because I don't know. And I'll be honest, I can't tell. It just depends. Is kind of the story there. And so Diane's got it. Split stay, correct. That is always the correct answer. Split stay. All right,
sure.
That's my last little bit. Ricky, what do you got? One more thing to share.
All right. So obviously the big question for 2022, since Disney's Magical Express is going away, is how am I going to get to the Walt Disney World Resort?
I've actually heard hitchhiking's making a comeback.
Hitchhiking is totally making a comeback. Yes. Please don't hitchhike. So, a lot of people have, said obviously rideshare services, taxis. He has even been talk about the Brightline train, which, eventually it will come to Disney Springs, but I think it's going to take a lot longer than 2022 for it to happen, obviously.
Yeah,
exactly. So everybody is freaking out going, how am I going to get to the Disney Resort? And I understand 100%, especially if you don't want to rent a car, you're not comfortable driving around, Orlando or Walt Disney World or whatever. So Mears is coming out with a solution, and it's going to be called Mears Connect. It debuts in January of 2022, and it's going to connect from the airport to Disney Resort area hotels with the same reliable express service that guests expect. It's actually because, Mears was running Disney's Magical Express. So for those who know
how to do this, because they've been doing it for a decade.
Spoiler alert. Mears has actually been doing Magical Express. Hasn't really officially been Disney. It's been Mears. So with that, guests are going to be able to schedule their service, luggage handling. So they're going to handle the luggage for you, and return trips from resorts to the airport. In addition, they're, of course, going to be able to offer enhancements to have greater convenience and different vehicle options as well. The service obviously hasn't officially debuted, so there's not a whole lot of information that's officially out. Guests can start making reservations beginning May of 2021, in which at that time, they're going to launch a custom reservation platform, and they're going to share pricing. I know that's kind of been the sticky widget for a lot of people is, it's not free, or Disney's not going to reduce their price because Magical Express isn't happening anymore. And I understand, I get that aspect of it, but at least this is an option for guests who were wondering, how am I going to do this? Because no matter what, Disney's not going to offer Disney's Magical Express anymore. They're just not. It's not going to happen. They're not going to have a free service anymore. You're going to have to pay for it some way. I mean, that happens everywhere else in the world. If I want to go, like when I was in Paris, obviously I had to figure out a way to get from the airport to my hotel and, all that stuff. So unfortunately, I get the frustration. I really, really do. And it's not going to be free anymore. And I 100%, I get that. But at least this is a solution. So we are moving in the correct direction. It's not free, and I get it.
It's a great solution for first timers and for families. I mean, I'm glad it's out there, and anybody who wants to use it. But I think that really it takes kind of the nervousness about, oh my gosh, because I mean, the people that have been there often, you could rent a car, you could do ride share. You're not so how it works.
Absolutely. Good. I think this is the ideal thing for a first timer or those with large families. I think this is going to be the perfect option for them. And like I said, more information is going to come out. We don't even know what pricing is going to be. So we don't know how much it's going to cost for guests to be able to use this service. So, just be patient. And as we learn more, we will share it with you. But I'm excited that there's at least going to be a solution for guests to be able to utilize.
I agree. We're supposed to find out pricing next month, I think. And I'm guessing somewhere similar to what Disney Cruise Line offers for ground transfers.
I would assume so. Yeah.
Maybe in the $35 range, if I had to guess, but we'll see. I'll see how close I am.
Yeah. No, I think that sounds about right.
We'll see. Who knows? Maybe they surprise us. All right, man, close this out. What final topic do we have here on Potpourri?
So I'm going to give tips on one of my other areas of expertise, and that is the split stay, because that is something that so many people ask about. If you're like me, and sometimes you just can't choose between one hotel and another, you can always do the split stay. So there's a few things to keep in mind for this. What this split stay means, and it means different things for different people, but when I'm referring to a split stay, I'm referring to a guest staying at 2 or more different Disney resort hotels. So with the split stay, if you are booking a Walt Disney World package, you're going to want to look at the dates that your park ticket that you're booking with that package is valid. Because of the way that Disney tickets are now, there are different validity dates depending on the length of your package and the number of days of tickets that are included in your package. You're probably going to want to work with a travel agent in this space because we'll guide you in the right directions, but we have ways to work around different things to make sure that you have tickets for all the days that you're going to want tickets during your stay.
And just to jump in there, the thing is, you don't want to buy the tickets twice. You might say, "Oh, I'll make 2 packages." You don't want to do that. You want to make the package at the front. You want to make a room only on the second, but you got to manipulate the tickets on the package. It's the travel agents take care of you, but this saves you the money and you get tickets just like tickets for the entire stay. It's a piece of
right. Yes, it's not as straightforward as just being like 2 packages, 2 sets of tickets, because then you're paying for those first 2 days, which are the most expensive days of your tickets, twice. You don't want that. We don't want you to do that. So we'll help you with that. We promise. Another thing you're going to want to consider is transportation from the first resort to the other, right? It's all well and good until you're packing up on your first stay and you're like, oh, dang, how am I getting to the next resort? Okay, kids, each of you grab a suitcase. We're getting on the bus. We're going to go
walking
over
down
there.
World Drive to Coronado from the Grand Floridian.
Right. That's right. You're on Google Maps looking to see how long it's going to take you to walk there, right? Now, you do not have to do that. And the great thing is that Disney does offer this service for you. You will simply take your bags to Bell Services or have Bell Services come to your room, depending on where you're staying. And you will let them know that you're going to transfer from one resort to another, give them the location of your next resort, and they will do that for you. Then you can go ahead and enjoy the parks during the day. Now, the one thing you're going to want to do is keep anything you might need between right then when you're giving them your luggage and let's say later on in the afternoon, like let's say early evening, anything you might need between that time and early evening with you on your person. This includes medications. It includes swimsuits if you're going to want to use that. It includes just anything. I'm just going to say anything. Do not put your IDs, your passport, whatever in this bag. Do not put your Disney gift cards, which you're going to need to pay for dinner later. Do not leave anything like that in your bag. If you are finding that you have a whole bag of stuff that you're going to want to have with you at the next resort within the next hour or two, pack a bag, take Uber, go over to that next resort, and then check that bag with the Bell Services at your new resort. The reason why I'm cautioning you in this space is that when you walk up to Bell Services and you let them know that you're transferring from one reservation or from one resort to another, they don't have cars that are like standing by there. They're immediately going to run your luggage over just to ensure that it's there whenever you are. They probably only do this a couple times a day at most, maybe once a day. So they're going to take all the luggage to different resorts at that point in time. So there may be a big lag in time between when you get there and when your luggage gets there. So if it's important to you, keep it with you and or go to the next resort and check your luggage there instead of having Disney transport them. I'm trying to think what else is important for split stays. Remember, on the day that you're checking out of your first resort and the day that you check into your next resort, you actually have access to the amenities at both resorts that day. So you can still use the pool at your first resort. You can use the pool at your new resort. So consider that as well. And when I'm doing this, we tend to do like a Magic Kingdom resort on the front end and an Epcot resort on the back end or something like that. And I have my park days align with the different transportation or different location that my other resort may be. Again, if you're going to be staying at, let's say, a value resort and a deluxe resort, my suggestion, put your nicer resort at the end.
Correct.
It's the perfect way to end a trip. It's a little humbling to go from the Yacht Club to Pop Century, I will say. Like, you're just like, oh, yes. I never quite thought about the rooms being different in size or the pools being better at one or the other. Well, let me tell you, when you're staying at the value resort on the end, you're gonna notice it a little more. It's gonna not feel as plush, shall we say. And those are some of my tips for resort hopping.
Those are great tips because you get to have two different experiences on one vacation, which is always fun. You get to say, oh yeah, it was great being over at Coronado, but then I got to experience Yacht Club and go, walking the International Gateway. So great tips. And I hope that, you guys really enjoyed today's show, kind of a little bit different than we usually do, but we wanted to, we've been talking about some fun topics on Fridays lately, but we wanted to give you some tips, some meat to the show so that you could hopefully, I know that you guys probably know 90% of these tips, but maybe one thing will lead you to another thing that can help you get a little bit more out of your next vacation. That's what this is all about. So hopefully you enjoyed today's show. Don't forget, this show today brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. As always, just drop by the Magic for Less. There's a lot of tips over there. One of the things I love about the Magic for Less website is the resort guides. So you can see the pictures of all the resorts. There's some layouts. If you want to know what the rooms look like, the seasonal pricing, even on the website, just things like that. And while you're there, fill out the quote form. If you're thinking about going down, put some dates, resorts, who's going, and we'll get you some availability, some pricing. We'll go from there. But it's a really easy way to kind of take that first step towards your next Disney vacation. So check them out today over at themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link, beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. Free way to support the show, and it really does help. And finally, a huge shout out to our patrons. Thank you for allowing us to do 4 shows a week here on the feed. Plus, you, me, and Scotty G every Sunday night live at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern over there on Facebook and YouTube. And also, if you're a patron, you get Mike in the Midwest every Thursday. So get that. And thank you for supporting everything we do on Patreon. Also, don't forget, you can give us a follow on the social media, Instagram and Twitter at BeOurGuestMike and at BeOurGuestPod. And of course, you can check out the video of all the shows on Facebook and YouTube. Just search for the Be Our Guest Podcast. All right, we're going to get out of here, and we'll be back again on Sunday night, again, 7 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Central. We want you to give us a call. But until then, have a great weekend. So for Pam and Ricky, I'm Mike, wishing you an awesome weekend. But whatever you do, stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you real soon. That was a good one. That was good tips. Good tips.
Lots of good stuff.
So we'll work on that mic again next week. I'll come in 15 minutes early again because I think when you started talking, I think you just talked a little bit louder. And I think we'll figure it out, though.
All right. I want to make it work, especially after I bought the mic at this point. So.
I hear you. We'll get it working. It's just that kind of mic is really, it's super sensitive, which you think is good, but it just makes it, we'll get it, but you got to do work.
Yes. Okay. Awesome.
Because like this one's $1 million, but it doesn't pick, like if I get over here, you don't hear anything. So it's easy, but yeah, we'll get it. I'll talk to my dad too. He'll give me some.
Okay.
Awesome. Right. I'll see y'all later.
Okay.